Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl, Andrea Griffin-Rogers here for a 1-2 quick punch of a word that God gave me today. And he said, obedience precedes acceleration. Obedience precedes acceleration. A lot of times, especially now that we're about to go into a new year, people gear up for not only their New Year resolutions, but then they also, name it and claim it type of prosperity ministry that we see where people are like, yes, that's mine, that's my word, it's my season, it's my time. And it may very well be your season and your time. However, what is going to determine if you actually walk through that door of opportunity is your obedience. Everything boils down to obedience with God. He's looking for a willing vessel that he can fill up and partner with to do his assignments in the earth. That takes obedience. And so if you are a person that is looking to do something in the earth and you're looking for God to bless it, ask yourself this question: am I being obedient to what he tells me to do? To the T or to the letter? Because even if you're like, well, I partially am obedient, that's still not enough. Partial obedience is still disobedience to God. It has to be all in or nothing. He says in 1 Samuel chapter 15, through the prophet Samuel, he says it to Saul when Saul was like, you sent me to war, God, and I defeated like part of the Amalekites. I kept the king Agag alive, and I took the plunder. That's not okay. Like, I at least did part of the job, and God still rejects him. Why? Because you weren't obedient to the full assignment I gave you, to the full instruction that I gave you. And you think I'm going to bless what you just presented to me, basically like a Cain offering? Like, I presented you this little portion, not my best. It didn't come from the sacrifice of my heart. It just was like this little bit, and God, you should be okay with that. And God's like, no, full obedience. 1 Samuel 15, verse 22. But Samuel replied, what is more pleasing to the Lord, your burnt offerings and sacrifices, or your obedience to his voice? Listen, obedience is better than sacrifice, and submission is better than offering the fat of rams. Rebellion is as sinful as witchcraft, and stubbornness as bad as worshiping idols. So because you have rejected the command of the Lord, he has rejected you as king. All of us have a door of opportunity. Lately on the Agents of Revival podcast, it's streaming on all platforms, so go check it out. I've been talking a lot about the hallway to destiny. Because when you come out of the tunnel of transformation, the hallway to destiny is it's a narrower path than what you were already on. And it's a different pace that you operate in that hallway. Your door to destiny is right at the end of that hallway. It's bright, it's golden, it's beautiful. God has it for you. You can see it, you can feel it, you can touch it. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm almost there. But the way you show up in this season is what determines if you're going to walk through that door. Because if you show up in the hallway to destiny in the same way that you showed up in the tunnel transformation, chances are you're going to be in that hallway a little bit longer. Why? Because when you're going through the tunnel transformation, it is like fight to the death mentality. It is, and I don't mean that in sense of literally. I mean that because it's such a crushing season, it's a crushing tunnel transformation, because you're being purified, as John 15 talks about. You're being purified in God. Your faith is being purified and tested. You are tested on all sides. You're crushed on all sides to produce the best portion of you. Like a grape turned into wine, it has to be crushed. Like an olive turned into olive oil, it has to be crushed. God has more for you to do that was going to exceed the test of time, like a bottle of wine, like a bottle of olive oil. But you got to go through a crushing period in the tunnel transformation. And so when you're going through that process, it's just about survival. That's all it is. Literally, it's just survival mode. That's the mentality you're in. You can't worry about nobody else in that tunnel transformation but yourself, because you're just trying to survive the storm. However, when you get to the hallway to destiny, it's just like the most upscale hallway that you can imagine is what I think about. It's a nice hallway. They got nice music playing in the background. You know, for those that can hear my music, you probably hear it. They got nice music playing in the background. It's a little calm. It's a little bit easier to walk through this. It's a little bit lighter. There's even some bellman there, some concierge there that says, let me take your bags for you. You've been carrying these bags up to this point, but let me take those bags for you. First step, when you come out of the tunnel transformation and concierge says, hey, let me take your bags, you've now entered to the hallway to destiny. Again, for those that's not reading between the lines, I use practical examples for spiritual principles. So the doorman is like, hey, you finally made it. You're almost there to your destination. You're almost there to your door opportunity. Let me take your bags for you. The bags that you carry, the remainder that you carried into, even the bags of just survival mode. That's a mindset that you have to then go and detox from, because you went through such a crushing season that you then got to heal from the crushing season you went through. Even though part of the crushing season was to heal you from some past experiences, but then you have to also, your mind has to be transformed into the identity of where you're going and not where you came from. That's what happened to the children of Israel in the book of Exodus. When they left Egypt, they had a mindset of slavery. They had a mindset of slaves, of being less than. But God had to take them through a wilderness season, and the wilderness was not supposed to be long. Technically speaking, it was only supposed to be 11 days. But because they complained and they did so many sinful things in God's eyes along the way, he finally said, you know what? I'm done with y'all. It's going to be 40 years so that y'all die off and I'll take your children in. Because your children will be with Joshua and Caleb that will go into the promised land and receive what I have for them. But since you could not change your mindset, you couldn't drop these bags with the bellman, with the angel of the Lord that's saying, okay, you've made it through that hard season. Now drop your bags. I got it from here. Just drop your bags and take up a new way that I'm going to show you on how to live in this hallway to destiny. That takes obedience. Obedience to drop your bags when God says you've passed the test of the tunnel transformation. Now drop your bags. And then it also takes obedience to walk forward through the hallway to destiny. You know, God gave me a vision about this in the form of a soldier or a guard, rather. A guard that's standing in front of a big, beautiful gold vault. Like, think of a bank vault where they hide all of the gold and the most valuable and the money and all that. And so it was this tall guard in white garments standing in front of this bright gold, beautiful bank vault. And there was like, what do you call it? Like barriers, so that it's a velvet rope barrier, so that it's a narrow path to get to where the guard is standing in front of the door of this bank vault. And so he has in his hand two things. In one hand is, you guys can see my hands, I have my hands up. In one hand is a white robe. And the other hand is a key. And all he says is, release what you've been carrying. Take what's in my hand and follow me. Now, that means you got to drop what you've been carrying, your bags. You got to take off what you also been carrying of your raggedy garments that survive the test of time, so to speak, through the tunnel transformation. You got to take up the new white garments that he's giving you. And then there's the key. The key unlocks the door. Even though he is the door standing there, but the key is the knowledge he's going to give you, the wisdom and the strategy he's going to give you on how to go through this door and how to navigate in this door opportunity. But he says you got to be willing to drop what's in your hand and take what I have. Now, you could sit there and think all day long you're going to argue with this angel of the Lord and say, well, you know what? Well, maybe but if I just bring mama and them and daddy and them and auntie and cousin and my best friend and my sister and if I could just bring, no. He gave you very clear instructions. Drop what you're carrying, what you've brought this far, basically. Drop it. Take what's in my hand and follow me. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what's going to take to get through that door opportunity. See, a lot of people want the golden door because you looking at somebody else's life. And so you're comparing and thinking that if I get that, I'll be happier. But God has the golden door for you because he knows the assignment he's called on your life. And so when he's telling you to follow him, it's because you don't know where you're going. You may think you do because you're looking at somebody else's stuff. But God says, no, you don't know where you're going. So I need you to drop what you're doing and follow me. And so the choice is yours. You can choose when you get to the hallway of destiny to feel like, you know what? I think I'm gonna turn back. I think this is just too much. I think you asking me too much, God, to give up what I have made, carried this way to survive. No, then God says, I'm sorry. I'll reject you. My word can't return to me void. So I'm going to try with your children. I'm going to try with somebody else in your family bloodline. But it's not going to return to me. There's no return to sender. But how many people get to the hallway to destiny and then quit? The richest place in the world is a graveyard. Because so many people stopped while they were ahead. So many people felt like it was too tough to continue going on the road. And so they gave up. Why give up when God says the door is right there? You made it through the tunnel transformation. Why stop at the hallway to destiny? The door is right there. You see it. Yes, the hallway may be a long hallway. So that means there may be some time as you walk through that hallway, as you follow the guard, in my example of the vision, as you follow the guard through the door may just be to open it. And you may think that what you want is on the exact immediate other side. No, there may be that path as you're walking into what he has for you. But why give up just because you're not in control anymore? Just because you don't understand what's going on. Just because it's requiring more sacrifice of you. What is more pleasing to the Lord? In verse 22 of 1 Samuel 15, your burnt offerings and sacrifices, or your obedience to his voice. He does not care what you sacrifice to get to this point. You have not sacrificed as much as he did when he wrapped himself in flesh in the cause of Jesus Christ and died for your sins. So, baby, don't be talking to God about sacrifice. Are you kidding me? All he's asking you to do is possibly isolate yourself from certain people for a season, or completely cut off those people depending on who they are. Or to stop watching TV, or stop being on social media, or pick up a book and read, or go back to school, or become somebody's apprentice and learn under them and study under them. Let them mentor you. Like, again, he's not asking you to do anything that he has not done and would not do if he was you. And he has not asked you to do anything that he doesn't know that you can do or cannot do, because he never puts more on us than we can bear. So he knows that whatever he's assigning us to do, even when it comes to our sacrifice as we follow him, of our dropping our bags as we follow him, it's because he knows we can take it. He knows what's best for us. He knows that there are some better things, better opportunities, better friendships and whatnot that's up ahead. But you got to be obedient to his word, to his voice, to listen. You want the acceleration so bad, you want the opportunity so bad, you gotta be obedient. And so let this word encourage you today, that he has the door. He has the key to the door. Revelation 3 verse 7, Jesus says, I am the door, or I have the key of David. What he opens, no one can close, or what I open, no one can close, and what I close, no one can open. The choice is yours. You can go through the door, and God has it for you. But he says, you got only these options that's in my hand. The key, the new garments. And you got to drop everything that you're doing and follow me. That's it. Simple instructions. But so many people get to that point and miss the mark because they feel like, oh, God, you asking me too much. These people in my ride or die, they got me through the tunnel transformation. And God says, yes, I know, but just like a rocket, the boosters may have got you up to a point to help you get off the ground. But they got to fall off in order for you to go higher. It doesn't mean that they're bad. I know a lot of people want to say, oh, this must mean something bad about that person. No, it just means that they can't go any further. They don't have the capacity to handle and to hold on to what's on that next level. And so God's saying they got to drop off. I got to allow you to distance yourself or cut the cord. That means that there are certain conversations you got to have with some people to say, hey, you know what? God said that we have come to the end of the road. Like the Boys II Men song, we have come to the end of the road. I'm going to miss you. Thank you for getting me this far. But we are now at a crossroads, basically. And God's telling me to go right, but you got to go left. Again, doesn't mean that they're bad. It just means that God got to take them on their own road now. And he got to continue taking you higher where he's taking you. And as you go, though it may seem a bit lonely. I know, because I'm experiencing it. Like, it may seem lonely. You like, where everybody at, God? But God says, don't worry, they coming. They up ahead. Just keep moving. And as you keep moving, you'll find that everybody you need, those you need that are going to help you build, that are going to help you to steward and to hold the assignment that he's giving you, they're coming along. And you're going to meet them on the journey. But you got to be obedient to the instructions he gives you at the hallway to destiny. So, may Lord bless you and keep you, cause his face to shine upon you. May Lord God be gracious to you, show you his favor, and give you his shalom, give you his peace. Take care. Love you guys. Make sure you turn into the Agents of Revival podcast daily because I release daily content on there. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.